Hey there, Brewberries, what's up, and welcome to another episode of Brew and Build. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a wonderful day. There in the distance, you see the fully completed and waxed version of what we built in the last episode. Last episode, we built this guy, and it's beautiful, and I'm really happy with it. And I really do like the windows having turned blue, I think, or teal, I guess. I like how that looks. I think it adds a little bit of pop of contrasting color or complementary color, and I think it works really well. And on the other side, so this side we've got all kind of copper colors on the roof, but on this other side, if I can get to a good angle, I went ahead and added a bit more patinaed look. And the theory behind this is because it's closer to this sort of technically this is an ocean biome, but it's getting more coastal winds. Maybe it's getting a little bit more spray or something like that. Like this I'm saying is more maybe a sea, or I don't know, it's saltwater is what I'm kind of going at. And so I was thinking, I think that would affect and cause this side of the house to age faster because it's getting more of the salty brine and all that sort of stuff going on. So that is kind of my theory behind it. The chickens have been pretty effective at staying here, I think. I want to say all of them have stayed, but I've been wrong before. Yeah, no, both of them are still here. The cows, however, I cannot say the same thing. We're down to one. They keep just falling off the edge. They are stupid, and I think in theory they're fine, but I think they're big enough that they bump each other off the edge, and then they just never find their way back. So that's unfortunate, but the good thing is I have completed our basement and got a little surprise. So if we go down here, we've got this fun little basement here, and I do love the glow like, and it makes it so you can have, like, I've got the torch here for added brightness because I do come to this area a little bit for a reason you'll see in a second. But I do love the fact that I think this would all be pretty much non-spawnable because of all the glow liking around. Like, it would make it really dim. But look, it's not even like that dim. That's actually pretty good. I bet this is fine. Honestly, if it blows up, it blows up. But I'm gonna leave it like this because I like the vibe. But we've got this basement done, and it kind of just a storage place. I decided to put a bunch of jars and stuff because I really like the jar. I think it's such a good addition to the game. But the idea is that there's like some hay storage for the cows, maybe some chicken feed related stuff going on, and just overall just general storage, nothing too crazy. But the secret is this is actually, like I said, how we access our cow farm right here. And rather than making a like water elevator, I decided I'm just gonna do scaffolding. It's pretty easy. So each of these rooms are pretty much identical. Obviously block placement's a little different, but I just went with this, like, I don't know. I like doing underground places like this because there's no point in keeping to a direct theme. Like, I don't have to have it match everything that's going on up there. So I just went with the tough and experimented with the tough blocks and using the like chiseled look. And then I don't know what this patterned one is, but I love it. I think this is gonna be great. So we're gonna have 3 little pens here where we can fill these all up with cows, and then and there's terracotta in the ceiling, but we'll fill each of these up with cows, and then this can be just kind of like our little slaughterhouse, if you will. So that's fun. Yeah, and I can just kind of it's easier actually to go up here on the walls, and then I can hold shift and just try to breed them as best as I can, but they keep bumping me and it's a little obnoxious, but it's not that big of a deal. We'll get there eventually. Now, today, I've got some big plans. So one of the things that I have been the most annoyed about is our storage situation. We've got all these little areas with chests going on, and it's really, really obnoxious. Like, I keep trying to keep them organized and stuff, but it's becoming really just dumb. Like, I'm tired of having to visit different chests to figure out exactly what is in what, because I have an organization system up there a little bit, but it's not big enough. I'm starting to outgrow it. And so I think it's time that we work on our storage system a bit. And I had a good idea. So as you can tell, I've already begun work here. And what we're going to be doing is expanding the Honey Brew Meadery. And we're going to work on the actual distillation. Is it distillation? I don't know what the brewing area, or the kegs are going to be, basically the big old keg flask thingamajiggies. I don't know what they're called. I have not done my research. I'm just spitballing all of this. But we're going to build this guy, and it's going to be essentially like this. This is more showcase room. It's more about like you visit Grand, enjoy the cove, enjoy the view and all that sort of stuff. Here's our complimentary meads and all that crap. But this area doesn't need to have this like nice little pleasant walkway and stuff. So we're going to mainly just have it be a building. And this is on a foundation. It's not nearly as big and glorious of a foundation as this, but that's fine. There's not going to be any reason for it to be big. And that's because, I mean, we could make it big, but I mainly just don't want to have stairs like this entrance here. Like, this is fine. We're going to figure out better stairs for this because I don't like the stone, but for now, that's fine. But I don't want that for this. We are going to be essentially taking this design style and shrinking it down to fit into it's going to be one story. There might be sections where there's 2 stories. But the idea of it is it's going to be mainly like Honey Brew Meadery in Skyrim. But it's going to just be like a 1-story version of that. And we're just going to replicate kind of what we did here over here in a smaller format. Similar to like that building. So this build has quite a lot going on. Loads of wood. And it's quite big. And this one's going to be big, but it's not going to be nearly to the same degree, I don't think, as this. I think it's going to be on a much smaller scale. This is more of a square build, so we might actually try doing maybe like a dome again, like our little crossroads area over here. And if we end up doing the dome, then it'll probably end up being 2 stories, and we'll just have like a living situation or something like that up top. I'm not sure. I don't have any plans for this. I just am thinking aloud here. But we needed loads of wood. So I have gathered up a lot of dark oak and a good amount of spruce. And I also gathered up a whole butt ton of this stuff, tough, and then a decent amount of deep slate. There's plenty of deep slate down where our beacon is, so that's fine. And I just brought over the terracotta. Now, the dark oak, you might be wondering, did you grow all those? Absolutely not. Why would I do that? I live in a dark oak forest. So I'm starting to clear out and plan out where roads and things are going to go here. So initially we were using snow. We're going to keep this as snow blocks, but eventually the path is going to go this direction. And this main path is going to be made out of stone, like a stone mixture. Maybe some packed dirt in there to add a little bit of dirtiness, but predominantly we're going to have stone. So the main roads are going to be made out of this stone mixture, and it's going to kind of it's going to end up going this way, wrapping around down and connecting up the meadery showcase room and the main mead distillery. That's what they're called. And then it'll connect up to our farms and transfer over into more of a dirt palette. So we're going to have that going. This area here is meant to be like a crossroads type of thing. Like you come here, this is like a good resting spot. You come into the town this direction, and then you're met with a choice of, do I go right? Do I go left? I have to reset. I have not... It's been a while since I've really been like excited to record. I don't know if that really makes sense, but it's been a long time since recording prior to last episode. And it's been a while since I've been like, I want to do the next episode. And so I'm excited about that. And it's making me ramble a lot. So we're going to do this again, speed mode, and we're going to just talk about what the general plan is. I'm not going to get in the weeds, all right? You have no idea what I'm talking about. But just trust me, I rambled a lot. As I said, this is going to be crossroads. And we're going to have a pathway that splits here. I don't know what's going here to cause it to split. Maybe a house, maybe a big old rock. I don't know. But it's going to split. And we're going to have a path go diagonally off this way and a path go diagonally off this way. And right now, this is not the complete picture of like exactly what's going to happen, obviously. We got to figure that out. But the idea is this will be like the main roadway, I think. And it's going to connect up and go this away. And I want to use the landscape here to really inform our decisions on like what we're building. So for instance, this area is already kind of cliffy. So I think we commit to that bit and really signify that this is kind of a cliffed section and make it so it maybe naturally starts going back down this way. But for this little chunk right here, we just make it into a little cliffed section, and then we can have houses backed up against it on this side. And that's what I mean by using the landscape to inform. It's not so much that we're going to hard push ourselves to just follow exactly the vanilla Minecraft stuff. Like, we'll still landscape in terraform and stuff a bit. Like, this might not be big enough for some of the house designs I want to do and all that. But in general, we're going to use this as a initial plan. And so that's partially why I want to clear out these trees more so, because I can't see the land. That is on the horizon. This is just me starting to plan things out. But for now, I'm going to hold off on progressing this area until I clear out a lot more trees. And I also I want to really plan it out well. And so I think I've already got a really good idea about what I want to do in this whole farming section. And everybody loves a good farming section, you know? Like, nobody is going to be mad about a video about a wheat field because we all love wheat field, am I right? This area I have big ideas for and expectations as to how to do that. And I already feel confident with this house as a good palette for continuing this. So I think we're going to do that. And on the side, we'll plan this out. We'll do little baby chunks of this area because this is going to be a big project. This is a big project as well, but it's in much more manageable bites. Like, it's already broken up, like this island first, and then we'll do that island, and then we'll do a bridge, and then maybe another bridge, and then a big gigantor wheat field somewhere. Much more manageable. But that's not what we are currently doing today. So since I've already gathered up a lot of stuff, what I'd like to do is firstly tear down all the copper that I farmed, because I found a dripstone cave and I got a lot of copper, and we need copper for the roof. That's what this is for. Also, if there's weird cuts, I still have this like catch in my throat from being sick, so I keep coughing as my throat dries out. So bear with me. But the idea for this build, after we're going to tear this down, but the idea for this build is I think we're just going to have it so that walls start right here. So this little platform, we may just start here. Actually, no, I don't. I want it to have a little bit of a hangover. So the idea for this build, I've already marked out some of the foundation and stuff, but the idea is this is going to be the storage area. We're going to use it to be our storage entrance. And then we're going to treat our storage area more like we did the cow stuff down there, where we can do kind of our own little style. We can do whatever in the world we want. I think I'm going to lean a bit into like maybe making it like a sewers themed build, so that maybe then later on we can have a whole sewer network up in the town area and then actually connect it up and make it really all like connected and cohesive. That's what I'm aiming for, I think. But for now, it's just going to be like a very tough sewers, mossy storage area. You know, typical. So these 4 markers are for 4 large vats. If you've played Skyrim and you know Hunting Brew Meadery, then you know kind of what I'm talking about. They're just big vats of mead, essentially. And what I'm thinking is one of these is going to be, I'm thinking this one will be the entrance. I'm thinking we'll have a T staircase where it goes up, splits going left and right. So we have a staircase up on either side, and then a little big keg type of thing going on where this stacks up 4 high, and the middle of it will actually be hollow on these back 2. And this one will be actually entirely empty and will be a drop chute into our storage system. And then this one will be a bubble vader to get us out. And I think that's basically the general premise, and I think it's going to be good. Oh, Emma just got home. Okay, I'll continue this after I destroy this pillar. All right, so I may have done little bit of work, I got a little carried away. But we have a lot to do today, so that is partially why I decided to just go ahead and start building this up quite a bit, because we'd have not only this but the storage system down below to do, and they're both fairly decent sized builds. This one not taking as long as I was originally thinking, so actually let's go on the other side. So this build is actually not taking as long to do because it's basically just copying this one here. It's essentially the same as side design. The primary elements are, and that's all we're really focused on, is making sure that this one looks similar to this, like they go together. And then the roof itself is going to be right above this, and I think we're just going to do if we go into my little camera guy, we're just going to do a similar roof to this, and I think that's going to make it just so it doesn't stand out as much as this. It's also going to cap it at being like this high or something like that. And so relatively, it's just going to be a little bit easier for us to build. And I'm also going to probably use terracotta in place of like acacia wood, and we have a decent amount of copper, so I'll still probably use copper, but still going to keep it fairly simple and straightforward to put together. I did add this little middle section here. I was going to do a skinny window, but then I didn't like the way that it looked. So instead, what I did was I added this sort of, it's supposed to be like one of those little honey wands. And I thought that was kind of an interesting little like central design. So either side has that, the front and the back have that. And then the sides I have not yet done. The sides are going to be a little bit more boring. I think I'm going to do an actual, like, just make them have windows. So, yeah, the main thing here that's missing still is the two little flowers that go on top, or go on the honeycomb. And then the sides and the roof. And that's really about it for this. This is almost done. I don't really care that much if this is plain. I might add some like trapdoors or overhangs or something like that just to make it a little bit more interesting, but it doesn't need to be that crazy. So on the inside here, well, firstly, we've got these little grates, and this is the main reason why the grates are the main reason why I'm honestly thinking of doing sewers and wanting to do like a big sewer system, because I like the look of this, like, oh, this has a big old foundation, water's gonna need runoff of some kind, and so it can just go down here. I think that'll be really fun to have that kind of interconnected all throughout the city. I think that'll be fun. But when we get inside here, it's going to be pretty basic. It's just going to have 4 of these. So this is what the actual like distillery sort of thing is going to be looking like. And then all of the walls I'm going to figure out. So we're going to have walkways here to get up on either side, because you have to be able to access the top hatch on either one of these. And so that'll make sense. And then there is going to be a door here, and I think I'm going to put a ladder here that actually just goes all the way up to a little second story area that is probably in line with these windows, just to make it so that there could be a little bit of like a rafter system, something going on if they need to do like work up all the way at the top. But I don't think I'm going to do a living situation, because I think it makes more sense to have the living situation be over yonder on an actual like bee farm. I think that makes more sense, and they come in to town to do the showing and the distilling of the brew and stuff. So we're gonna have 4 of these, and these 2 are gonna be the entrance and the exit of our storage system. Now, this is what this is kind of looking like, and I'm gonna mess around with the actual aging and stuff. Currently, I'm just letting it age all the way, because I think that's always the easiest to work with. But you can't really tell, but there is a water elevator that goes all the way down and up to the top here. And that is how we get out of our storage system, which I also have been working on. So the idea is that we'll be able to run up here and then fall down this hole, which will be mirrored like this, but this will be empty. So we'll just fall all the way down. And then these 2 will be not anything. They're just going to be for show. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be pretty interesting. And then the interior here, I'm not going to do that much. I think I'm just going to let these things be the things that really speak for the area. we'll have the walls completed and stuff, but we don't need to have anything else. Just maybe rafters and stuff to make sure that it looks supported. And I think that'll be good. But now comes the really fun part. So I'm really stoked about this. Like the more I'm building this, the more I'm excited. So I have been working quite a bit on where the storage system's going to be and what it's going to look like. And so let's go down there. So firstly, dropping down, got a little drop chute. Doesn't fall that far. Like it's not going to be that deep. But if we come on out, we've got this sort of sewer system lined up and ready to go. And it's kind of boring. We haven't done any texturing. I'm currently just kind of laying out the blank slate. But if we turn around, this is going to be what the storage system is like. And I actually already have all of the storage system laid out. I just don't have hoppers. I am going on iron sprees to try to get as much iron as we can. And yeah, I don't have enough. We need, what is it? I have a list here. We need 124 hoppers, 40 comparators, 40 repeaters, and the hoppers, that's 620 iron. So I don't think this is going to cut it unless every single one of these gives us 10 iron. It's not going to cut it. But that's okay. I'll work through it. I'm going to work through it. Don't worry. So the idea is that this is the sewer system. You come in, and this is sort of a skinny exit. It slowly gets skinnier and skinnier, and then it's kind of like Oblivion, where it's just going to have like this little grate pop out here. And I think it's going to be kind of cool. So this is actually like right at the water level down below. Here, I'll go on out. You can see this is where it's going to pop out. We're just going to have like a little sewer grate entrance here. And it's going to be accessible via this, but the main use that I see me using is this dropping up and down sort of thing. Now, getting into the actual system itself, we've got the input. This is where we will be able to just dump all of our stuff into this chest. And this is the first time I've ever done this. I've never done a item sorting storage system, but I'm doing it here because I really think we're going to be here for a while. And I've also kind of just always wanted to do it. And then all the items are going to go down, around, and back. And then any that don't make it will be popped in right here. So this is where it's going to be. So we've got some bulk storage up front. This is where all the stone and cobblestone and related stuff is going to be. But then we get into this just bigger side area where I decided to lay them out horizontally because I like the look of it more. And then we have a little bit more, I wouldn't call it bulk storage, but maybe a little bit more odds and ends on either side. I thought the barrels kind of added a nice little transition because this is as far as this one lane is going to go. It's 16 individual things, so 32 on either side, 16 little gaps here. And so it's a good amount of storage. Actually, it's a lot of storage, and I really don't know if we're going to be able to fill it up, which is, I guess, the point. But the idea is then that this goes 16 down, and then we're going to have kind of a cistern sort of thing here. If you remember in like Elder Scrolls Skyrim, the Thieves Guild sort of thing, where it's a big old circular dome oval area. And the nice thing is, I know I keep going into this camera a lot, but if we go up here, we've got a good amount of space to work with, and then we can also have a good amount of headspace. Like we have a good amount of room here to work with. And that is going to be really, really nice because what I want to do, and I had this idea last night, and I'm really stoked for it. It's going to take a moment to incorporate, but I think it's going to be really cool. So when we get into the actual like fully finishing the storage system and building that out, I think what's going to could be really cool is to build a smithy type of situation, or like ore foundry or something like that, and make it so that the items, this is what the storage thing looks like. I've got it all laid out for the redstone. I just haven't actually like done it. Also haven't done the ice block pathways and stuff because I just don't have all the materials. We've started it though, so that's good. But I think what'll be cool, or would be cool, is to make it so if we dump a bunch of ores into the system, that we can have it go all the way down, and then there'll be a filter down here that actually pulls out the ores individually, pulls them all out, and shoots them over to the smithies, iron ore foundry, whatever it is, and then automatically super smelts it, and then transports it back and puts it into the storage system. Can you imagine that? Fully automated, like you just dump it immediately. It is able to go fill up all of your super smelter area, and then you never have to actually like manually go and do that. That would be so cool. So very briefly, this is what the actual color palette is going to be like, block palette. Right now we're using a lot of just tough bricks to fill in the space, but I'm thinking we're going to use a bunch of mossy brick and regular tough and mossy cobble every now and again, and then on occasion we throw in a cracked stone brick, and then sometimes we'll have one of these as well. And I think that's going to make it so this just feels really kind of like slimy and gross, and then this is all going to be slabs and stairs and a bunch of just like random kind of bits and bobs and stuff to make it so that we can essentially run down this, and it's going to be filled with water as well. So it's going to feel very sewery. We might add in some bridges like this one that's over here. A type of bridge like this using moss and stuff to kind of connect it up so we can get across. And stairs to let the water through and all that. And yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited about this. So I still, like I said, need lots of iron. I need to do a lot of resource gathering. So I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to go search every single mountain, high and low, for as much iron as I can get. I would love to be able to complete this by the end of the episode, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to. So I've got a lot of work to do. And I don't have replay mod, so maybe we'll do a little bit of a first-person time-lapse. Maybe I'll install replay mod, who knows. But we're going to do a good amount of work to finish this build off, and also to get a good amount done on this, whether that's the texturing, whether that's whatever. I still haven't even figured out the ceiling, so there's a lot to do. So let's get cracking. Alrighty, so my audio didn't record when I originally did this clip, so I'm gonna have to be avoiding some certain things because I've already recorded the next episode. I'm just now getting to editing this video, so if you see something and you think that it's important and I don't talk about it, it probably happens next episode. So please don't hold me accountable for what I don't talk about. But I'm going to try to do my best to not really show anything too much, at least. So this is what the roof looks like. Ended up going with, it's a little bit of a dome shape, and I like it. It's got this little top part which has smoke coming up from it just because there are a bunch of fires and stuff that are inside for the actual boiling process or whatever it is, the heating up or distilling, I don't know what. But I have to go back through and wax this, obviously. This side has not changed at all, really, aside from the windows agifying. But this is the side of the build that I hadn't had done yet. And what I decided to do instead was just kind of like mimic the bee in just a striping pattern on this wall, but I didn't want to have a window. The window that I initially tried wasn't looking all that great, so I ended up just going with this little bee pattern of yellow and black terracotta, which is more dark brown striping, and I think it looks good. This side right here is kind of boring, but you know, that's okay. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But let's take a look-see on the inside. So initially I had asked y'all's opinion about something, so I'll try to remember to do that. So this is what the front of this looks like. It's got a little bit more interest going on with some pots and stuff. Since this is the entrance, it might as well have a little bit of a shelf and stuff around the entrance area. But if we walk in here, you'll see a lot of glow lichen. That's mainly just for lighting purposes, but also to not make it non-spawnable. And I liked how it kind of looked like a sort of a carpet. But if we go in here, this is what we've got. Now, I don't think I want these to actually be aged like this. I think I want them to be more of the orange tones. So I think I am going to go through and unagify these guys. And that is more what it will actually end up looking like. Originally, what I had asked, and the first time I thought I was recording this, was do you like it as the unaged version or slightly aged, or do you like it fully patinaed? Personally, I think I prefer this, and I think I might honestly even swap the tough walls out for like deep slate or something like that. Something darker to give a really good dark contrast and feel a little bit heavier. But if you like this, I could be convinced, I guess. I think, maybe. I'm not totally convinced, but I do think I prefer this. But if y'all like this more, then you know what? We could probably go for it. But there's a fun little design here with these two being filled with mead and ready to go. So it's kind of like already turned into whatever the yellow liquid is. And I do need to swap this out, I think, for orange. I think orange glass would look better in comparison to this. This is a much oranger yellow than this being a much highlightier type yellow. So I think I'm going to do that at some point. But this is what it's looking like. And I'm really quite pleased with how everything has turned out. I think it's so cool. So these two are filled, not actually usable, but then when we get up here, oh, let's look up as well, because yeah, the whole upper area is also done. I'm gonna DH that as well because it looks really good in copper colors. And then we just kind of have plants. I didn't really go too crazy on the interior here. I really just filled in the walls to make them solid. I kept this as like a central piece for when you enter, you see the big wand. And then, yeah, there's just these like plants that are up here chilling on these shelves that have glow lighting for lighting purposes. And it's, yeah, very easy, very simple and straightforward. That I knew this build wasn't going to take like too much effort because it's not really that much of an interior. It's kind of just like a bunch of walls and then that's it. And then you can get up via this little back area here. And this is how you get up to the roof. And we're not putting anything up here. Predominantly, I'm not putting anything up here because it wouldn't make sense. There is too much smoke in theory that would be up here from the smoke that is coming from down below. So a living area would not work up there. And plus, like we said, we're going to make some form of little house and stuff that the owners of this brewery are going to be living in. That's out in the farm area with like a bee farm. And so I think that is the better method for us to approach this. Now it's nighttime, so let me go sleep. All right, it might not be nighttime, so I guess we're just gonna hope it doesn't spawn creepers and stuff when we come back out of this. But to enter into our storage system, like I showed you, the little output is here. The entrance is here, and you can tell that this is empty versus that one having the water column, and you really can't really tell because you can fill these grates up with water. So you can't really tell this is actually empty. So you just fall down, bada bing, bada boom, and we have entered into the completed storage system. So firstly, this gets a little skinnier, and I've lit it up with like sea pickles and stuff, and I think it's looking really nice. And it's supposed to look kind of grimy and slimy and stuff, and there's a bunch of glow lighting, keeping the light levels appropriate. I've got some green candles down here just to fit the aesthetic and add a little bit of a light source as well. And then when you make your way down here, some extra candles because they're by an entrance, you get met with the doorway. Now, I'm not going to go out there because this is an area that I have worked on in the next episode. So not going to go out there, but just trust me, that doorway looks good on the other side. But now if we go into the actual storage system, you can see two things happening. Firstly, everything's done, so that's great. But then also, you can probably notice two distinct areas of bright light. And this was something that I really was trying to figure out. How does Oblivion, in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, light the sewers that you explore? Because I was trying to think so hard about like what exactly in that experience, where's the light coming from? Because you're in a sewer, so there's not really like, it doesn't really make tons of sense to have like constant sconces and stuff on fire. Like it doesn't really make that much sense. So I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, maybe there's just like magic lights that are around that I didn't realize. But there isn't. What they actually do that's so smart is they have skylight from this area. So I put 4 sea pickles here to give the max brightness to always make it look like there's skylight coming down. But even without these, there is daylight that's coming through this little grate here. And you might be wondering, where is that grate? Well, if we go on outside just briefly, I'll show you where it is. It's right here. So this is what we're going to have around our builds. And there's actually the other one that's all the way down on this hill here. So directly in line with this, just further along this hillway, there is this guy. And this is what the grates are going to look like. So we've got a little trap door that we can enter into our storage system from anywhere, and little stairs and stuff to make it go so that water can actually get in. But if we just drop down, this will automatically close and we'll fall right into our storage system, take no damage. That's already shut because of the tripwire hook, and we're in our storage system. And I thought this is such a cool way for us to be able to get around into our storage system from wherever we are in the city. We just find the nearest sewer grate, drop in it, and we're boom down underground, and we can make our way over to what we need. Isn't that cool? I love that idea. Now, the rest of the storage system is pretty much the same that you saw. There's not really been anything that's changed. The only main thing that's changed is this. I've added barrels all the way down on either side. And that's for what I realized is this is really going to only work for like mass storage of blocks. So this section of the storage system, this automatic portion, is going to really be about block storage for large quantities of blocks for like, I don't know, like stone, cobblestone, logs, etc. Like things like that. Terracotta, just all the things that we're going to have loads and loads of. Mud, that's a good example because I've been gathering up a lot of mud. That is what this is going to be for. It's going to be like our primary big storage zone. And then if we have like cobblestone stairs or something like that, then we can put the cobblestone stairs up in the barrel so that it doesn't mess with the actual storage system. We do have to still manually do that, but it won't mess with our storage system here, and we can just put some cobblestone stairs and stuff up in here. And if we have a lot, then we can kind of designate, okay, well, this one's stairs and this one's slabs or whatever, and we can kind of just build off of it there. So there's definitely more storage here than we actually need, but I think it's going to be really good for us to be able to have just like a big dumping zone for us to be able to put stuff. And what I was honestly kind of thinking is I'm going to leave this chest here, but I might get rid of these stairs and just do, and these walls, and just do 3 hoppers here, because I think what we could then do is have hopper going in here, hopper on either side going in, and we could then put shulker boxes down if we have big quantities of like stone or whatever that we just want to yeet in there. We could do that. We could also manually do it as well, so it's not that big of a deal, but just another way that I think we could modify this to be a little bit more accessible. But for now, I'm gonna put those back because I like the look of it. But y'all, that is the build. That is everything that we have wanted to do today, and I'm very, very happy to have been able to get it done, and I am hopefully not gonna have to re-record this for a third time. And I see in OBS that my voice is being recorded, so let's hope I don't have to do this again. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you like the aesthetic. I really dig this idea. I really think it's cool, and I think next few episodes we'll be able to expand on this even more as we start to plan out the city above. We can start planning out the sewers below, and it's just kind of like a cool dual project that we can work on, where we're working on the upper areas, and if we get tired of building in that way, we can come down here and build kind of like this almost dwarven-esque stone-based build. It's just like really freeing, and you can kind of do whatever you want down here, which is kind of a cool thing. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you'll be here for the next episode, and I hope you have a absolutely wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.